welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Vivian Rose. So in this week's episode, we're going to talk about how to communicate confidently and mastering the art of communication. This is such an important aspect of all of our everyday lives, and I really feel like everybody should know how to do this the correct way. So I'm super excited to dive deep into the world of confident communication. So go ahead and grab your Bliss Brew coffee, and let's get right into this week's episode. So first, we have our Monday motivation, which is this week all about communicating. So if you take one thing from this episode, I want you to write it down, take notes, whatever you need to do to retain this information. There's a lot of information in this episode that I packed in here, and I really want you guys to remember it. So just take this little Monday motivation as at least trying one thing that I asked for you guys to do today. Really, just at least just giving it a try. When you may not agree with it, just give it a little try, okay? Please do it, because I really want you guys to be confident and just masters of communication. That car is so loud, I'm so sorry. Fashion icon of the week is, drum roll please, I don't have any drum roll, but that fashion icon of the week is totally going to be, I've probably already done her already, I really don't know, but it is going to be Cher from Clueless. I think I've done her before, I literally can't remember, but I love Cher from Clueless and Mia from Princess Diaries. I literally love those two. They're just iconic, just Disney stars, and I know like Cher, she's not really like a quote-unquote Disney star, but I'm saying like it was around that same time. And so, well, no, not around the same time, but it's just similar, you know? And so I just really love their style, even though they're completely different. I feel like Mia's style, she's so relatable and like all these different aspects. It's so cute. I love her style so much. It's like that downtown girl aesthetic. And then also you have Cher, which is she's always dressing up super cute. She just always looks so glam and just all dressed to the T at all times. So I definitely love those two ladies' styles. Always super cute, always super pretty, and just super nice to always get inspiration from 2000s movies. Now, here is a quote that I have from Audrey Hepburn. "The beauty of a woman is not in the clothes she wears, the figure that she carries, or the way she combs her hair. The beauty of a woman is seen in her eyes, because that is the doorway to her heart, the place where love resides. True beauty in a woman is reflected in her soul. It's the caring that she lovingly gives, the passion that she shows, and the beauty of a woman only grows with passing years." I literally love this so much, you guys. I just think Audrey Hepburn is just an amazing person at giving quotes. Literally, like, her quotes are always so great. I just really want you guys to remember that quote. It's just super hard because in this day and age, like, we have all these different people that we're comparing ourselves to, but just remembering that the true beauty of woman is in who she is in her heart. That's just so true. And I just really hope you guys can take that with you in this week's episode. Next is my weekly recap, just what I've been up to. So I hung out with my best friend and I had a blast. I'll tell you guys more about it next week, but I really had a blast. And I'm going to tell you guys more about it next week because I have other things I want to talk about in this week. Because it's a very long episode. We talk so much in the bulk of the episode. So I really just wanted to leave all the time for the bulk part, all about communication. But also went shopping, of course. Love shopping. 1989 TV. Oh my gosh. I'm actually recording this, like pre-recording it, so it hasn't even came out yet by the time I'm recording this. I'm recording this on October 20th, and right now it hasn't even came out yet, but I know my future self in the same day I'm screwing my head off to Bad Blood, All You Have to Do Is Stay, all those like nostalgic songs to me. So I just so excited. I'm so excited. Did tons of shopping. I'm going shopping with my grandparents the week that this episode is going out, so I'm super excited for that. And yeah, that's basically what I'm up to right now. Like I said, in the next episode, I'll have more because I really want to get into the actual episode. So my journal prompt of the week is actually from, I think it's from James Clear Newsletter. I literally get the journal prompt from there every time. You guys should know that by now. I literally do it all the time. You guys, if you haven't signed up to his newsletter, it's actually really amazing. So I really do recommend you signing up to his newsletter. It has different things on it every single week. But here is the journal prompt of the week. So imagine that you are at the end of your life right now and you're granted the ability to repeat one day. Which period of your life do you choose to repeat? Which phase of life would you want to go back to? Does that tell you anything about how you should be spending your time today? That quote or little journal prompt should really be telling you something right now. It should be telling you, when you look back, if you think about yourself right now, what if I was about to die? And you think about, what is one thing that I would love to do again? And you're not doing that enough today to make you happy. Why aren't you doing that? Journal that for me. I really want you guys to journal that and just see how you feel about that topic. Also, we have our little psychology fact of the week, which is always so fun to do. I literally love psychology. It's one of my favorite things ever, and it's just so amazing. I literally love it. So I'm going to give you guys a cute little psychology fact every single week. If you don't remember me telling you guys, that's something that I want to be doing a lot more, because I really love psychology. I really want to incorporate it into all of my episodes. So in this week, we're going to be talking about how to satisfy your own self-fulfillment needs. So I want you to write down your dream life. So, for example, you would say, I'm a businesswoman, I'm passionate about neuroscience, aka me, and you love social psychology. And this is what you would write it in the present tense. So like I said, I am a businesswoman. I often travel the world to give lectures and to sit on the board of some 500 companies. Only you can decide your dream life. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys what to write down. But whatever you want to do, down to every specific aspect, write it down in the present tense. Also, break down your dream life into bits and pieces and turn them into actionable steps. Also, it's very, very important. So I like to read books on public speaking and different things like that because I wanted to be able to do that in my dream life. I want to be able to give speeches and like talk to people and just help people as much as I can in like large, areas. And so in order for me to do that, I had to get better at public speaking. So just like I'm taking actionable steps, you need to be doing the same thing. Also, exploring your creative intuition and different things you like to do. Just try different hobbies and like painting, dancing, writing, practicing your guitar, practicing piano, anything that you may be interested in. Most of the times it's during these creative moments that we get an idea of our purpose in our life. Like, what do I want to do for my career? What do I want to do every single day for a living? Also, introspect. So journal and find out what your calling is. And like, we all have a calling. We all have something that we want to do with our lives, especially like if it even is like subtle, it may be something that you want to do. Of course, I'm not saying that I'm not going to have spiritual things in my life, because obviously I will. I love God with all my heart. But I'm saying you will have a career as well. God, he's not a career. You don't make money off of God, but that's something that comes first in your life. So you make sure that your career aligns with God and his purpose. So with all that to the side, I'm saying that we all have something that we would want to do as a career. And sometimes it's something that you can't even notice right off the bat. You have to actually do those hobbies, like I told you before, in order to find out what is my calling. What do I want to do? Sometimes it takes personal experience, exposure, or just really taking different classes of random things that you never thought you would like, just to find out what you want to do. And once you figured it out, start working on it slowly. And it's a journey. Trust me, it really is. But once you start out small and just get on with it, it can just be a lot easier and a lot more fun. And that's my psychology fact for you guys today. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Now let's get right into the actual episode. First section is confidence, your secret communication weapon. So we're first going to be talking about embracing your inner confidence. So self-affirmation techniques is the first thing that I want to talk about. It's very, very important. Just affirming to yourself that I did good on this. Even if you didn't do the best on like a math assignment, science assignment, no matter what it is, don't go around beating yourself up about it. You don't have to think about all the time like, I should have known better. Now you can think, now I know better, because now I know how I'm not going to make the same mistake again. If you didn't do that well on a math assignment, and now you can think about, next time I'm going to do more practice sessions before I actually take the test. And if you're doing like an essay for like English class, next time practice essays in like the short amount of time that they would give you when you do it like in class. So I really feel like it's just really important to like bring yourself up and not bring yourself down. Give yourself those positive affirmations that like Safia gives you guys in the little mini episodes. They're very, very important. So try to give those to yourself all the time. Next are different quotes that I really think help with confidence. So first is, don't adapt to the energy in the room, influence the energy in the room. That's one thing, like how some people, they feel like when there's so many people around them, they have to hide themselves because they're too nervous. Don't feel nervous. People are only going to make you feel nervous if you look nervous. So if you walk in there, in that room, looking confident and looking like you are not nervous at all, those people know nothing about you. Even if they do know you, they don't know how you're feeling that day. You could be confident that day. You could just be confident in general, and people will never know. So if you go around acting confident, of course not in a rude and just like snobby way, if you go around acting confident, no one's going to question you because you're confident. If you ever notice that nobody ever questions confident people, It's like that for a reason. So I don't want you guys to go into a room trying to act like you adapt to the energy in the room, create the energy in the room, bring forth your energy. If some people aren't able to go with your energy, then they're not for you. Next is confidence is not they will like me. Confidence is I'll be fine if they don't like me. This is very important as well, because as a confident person, you can't go around forcing people to like you because you don't even like everyone. Think about, there are probably at least 2 people in this world that you just do not like. It's only human. Think about, other people are not going to like you the same way you don't like other people. It's only natural. And it doesn't make you a bad person just not for liking someone, as long as you're not like being mean to them, bullying them, anything like that. If you just simply don't like them, so you just don't talk to them, you stay away from them, there's no issue with that. And you shouldn't feel like you have to be liked by everyone, because people will like you when they see that you're confident anyway. They may not show it, because usually when people like someone, like, I'm not in like a like way, but I'm saying like you, and like they like what you do, they like your style, like different things like that. A lot of times girls can be very rude about it. That's just how girls are. Girls, like, they don't show that they like someone. Most girls that I know, like in school and stuff like that, they're mean girls. And so most girls, they don't want to tell you, oh, I think you're pretty. They're just jealous of you. So now they're going to be rude about the entire thing just because they want to be you. And every time they see you, they're reminded of what they missed out on in life. That's exactly why people don't like you. People don't like you just because, like, you just go around being nice to everyone. You have to give them a reason. And think about it, if you are pretty, which most of you guys are, people who have mean personalities automatically aren't pretty anymore. Because even if you are pretty, even if you have, like, the prettiest blonde hair, but you just go around bullying people, you're not pretty anymore, because that's rude. You know, you don't go around, like, bullying people, pushing people around, being rude, giving like these mean remarks. You don't do that to people. Even if you are pretty and you do things like that, that doesn't make you pretty anymore, because pretty is when you have a nice personality to match your nice looks. You can't go around acting rude and try to get people to like you, because no one's going to like you. Just because you're pretty doesn't mean anything. If you have a pretty personality and you're pretty, you're going to automatically be pretty, okay? You probably understand what I'm saying. It makes sense, because think about, like, if someone's being rude to you, and yes, they may be pretty, but you just can't see that anymore because they're just like a bully to you. They push you around, they steal your things. You can't see them as that anymore. You know, you see them as a rude person of who they are. So really, really resonate with that quote. Is so true. You have to keep that in mind. The last quote I have for you guys right here in this little segment is, your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. That is so true, because you can't go around sulking and being all sad because people don't see your worth. No. You can't do that, because not everyone is going to see your worth, and you can't let that bring you down. Your value isn't based on what someone thinks about you. Your value is on what you think about you. What do you think about you? Are you happy with yourself? If you're not, then change yourself. Become the best version of yourself that you want to be right now. Your value, it doesn't decrease based on someone's opinion of you. Opinion is the way someone feels about something. It's not a fact, it's an opinion. So that's like if I said I like chocolate ice cream, but my best friend says, no, I don't like chocolate ice cream, I like vanilla, it's better. Okay, it's not a proven fact in your history textbook that chocolate is better than vanilla and vanilla is better than chocolate. No, that's not in the textbooks. It's an opinion. The same way that my friend can have an opinion about vanilla and I can have an opinion about chocolate, the same way someone can have an opinion about you. But you just have to be able to draw those boundary lines to not let different things that people say get to your heart. There's even a Bible verse about that. Don't take things people say so personally, because a lot of times people are just a reflection of the things that they're going through in their lives. Next is believing in yourself just enhances your overall presence. Believing in yourself is one of the most important things and just one of the most important aspects of your life in general. So remembering who you are and what you stand for in any situation is confidence. I'm going to give you guys some confidence boosting techniques. So I'm going to give you guys some power poses, because power poses can really impact body language. So they can make you feel more confident when having conversations. So instead of slouching, sit up straight and tall. Instead of sitting like with your arms all curled in like you're hugging yourself, sit up like you own the room. Sit up like you're a celebrity or something like that. You know, celebrities don't slouch. Celebrities don't look like they're nobodies, because they're not nobodies, they're somebodies. Also, I'm going to give you guys different visualization exercises to prepare for confident communication. So let's get right into the visualization exercises to prepare for confident communication. So this can be for any type of situation where you may need this. This could be when you're giving a school presentation. This could just be talking on the phone to one of your friends. Maybe you have social anxiety and you just can't really talk on the phone to your friends. This could be for any type of conversation or situation that you may be nervous about. And these techniques can boost your confidence before any important conversation. So visualization is like a mental rehearsal where you imagine yourself succeeding in a specific situation. It's a fantastic way to calm your nerves, building your confidence, and prepare your mind for the real deal. So let's get comfortable. I want you to act like you're about to do meditation. You know how you got to get comfortable. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed, and close your eyes and take a few deep breaths to relax. I want you to imagine the upcoming conversation or presentation in vivid detail. Picture the room you'll be in, the people you'll be talking to, and the positive atmosphere around you. Now I want you to imagine stepping into this scenario with confidence. Visualize your body language, your posture, your gestures, and your friendly smile. Envision the words flowing effortlessly from your mouth, conveying your ideas with clarity and conviction. You don't want to go talking to people like you don't know what you're talking about. Even if you don't know what you're talking about, don't let people know that you don't know what you're talking about. I want you to picture the audience nodding, smiling, and just engaging positively with what you're saying. And as you visualize, focus not just on what you say, but how you feel in that moment. Imagine feeling calm, composed, and just in control of the conversation, in control of your social anxiety. Visualize any potential challenges arising that, us anxiety girlies, we always think about what's the worst case scenario. This is your chance to show that you have anxiety. Visualize any potential challenges that you feel like may arise in this situation. And I want you to see yourself handling them with grace and ease. See yourself embracing the positive energy in the room and not getting so worked up if something doesn't go your way. It's okay. Imagine the sense of accomplishment and pride you'll feel after a positive and successful interaction with someone that you don't know, or maybe you do know them and you just feel nervous talking to them. So visualize the scenario as many times as you need to until you find a strong sense of confidence and just readiness for this entire situation. And I want you to remember that this isn't just pretending. This is actually preparing your brain mentally to handle situations with assurance and to know exactly what you need to do. Remember to believe in yourself and to embrace your power anytime you have different situations like this, because if you don't believe in yourself, people can catch on to how you feel. Same way, like when you see someone, you know how they're feeling, they can do the same thing to you. And you don't want to feel more inferior to someone just because of the way that you look. You may not be feeling that way, but if you look a certain way, then people are going to feel that they can use you for something. And you don't want to be used. Next are the power poses. So power poses are just like a little trick that can make a big difference in how you feel before a high-stake conversation or presentation. So the concept is very simple. Just certain body postures can actually influence your brain and your hormones, and those can boost your confidence and reduce stress. When you stand or sit in a power pose, you're adopting a posture of confidence and authority. These poses can create a sense of dominance and assurance, not just with the people around you, but for your own mind as well. Of course, I have research to back up all this. I'm a science girly, you guys know that. So research has shown that holding power poses for just a couple of minutes can increase testosterone, which is linked to confidence, and reduce cortisol, which is the stress hormone. So it's going to help you in the long run. It's like a little confidence boost that you can give yourself at any time, anywhere. So let's go through a few that you guys can try. The first one is the Wonder Woman pose. Stand tall with your feet shoulder width apart. Place your hands on your hips. Lift your chest and chin up. And imagine that you're a superhero. You're confident, you're strong, and you're just ready to conquer the world. You know how when you see Wonder Woman and you see all the different superheroes, they never look insecure. They never look like they're walking around like nervous or anything like that. They're always like spying like for their job. They're always walking around confidently. You never see them looking all like nervous or anything like that. No, because they're not nervous. They're strong and confident people. This pose will make you feel that way. Next is the victory pose. This is similar to what athletes do after a win, and stand with your feet apart, raise your arms in a V shape above your head, and stand tall. This pose exudes triumph and confidence. So like you just had a big victory, or you just basically won something. It just makes you feel really nice. My personal favorite, the CEO pose, is CEO. I do this all the time without even thinking about it. So I want you to sit back comfortably in your chair and steeple your fingers in front of you. And then I want you to rest your hands on your chin. This pose radiates authority and calmness. I do this all the time. It just feels so nice. Lastly, I have the Superman/Superwoman pose. So you can sit or stand really tall, puff your chest out, and put your hands on your waist. This pose signifies, it signifies power and fearlessness. So before your next important conversation or your presentation, try one of these poses out. You can do it in front of people if you feel comfortable. You can do it at home, in private, doesn't matter where it is, just different little power poses that are connected with different emotions. Like how I said, Wonder Woman is confident, strong, and just ready. These different power poses can make you feel the same way that they would because you're walking around that way. You're basically embodying a different person just so that you can have that confidence. And once you keep on doing it and doing these different power poses and just embodying these different feelings that aren't yours, they're going to automatically become yours in your subconscious mind because your subconscious mind is going to get used to it. I have an example. So, you know how when you eat every single day at breakfast, your stomach automatically gets hungry let's say you get hungry when you wake up. You know your stomach, every single day, it gets hungry when you wake up. That's because your subconscious brain has associated morning time with eating. That's the same way it will be if you keep on associating confidence to yourself. If you keep acting like confident people, then your brain is going to start associating that confidence with yourself because you keep doing it for a period of time. So I really do recommend trying these things out and just giving it a try just once. Even if you don't really want to, just try it at least once and just tell me and see how you feel about it. Also, I have some different stories that I actually found on the internet about people who tried out these different power poses. So there was this young woman who used the Wonder Woman pose that I talked about earlier before a job interview. And she literally said it not only helped her stay calm during the interview, but it also made her feel more assertive and capable for the job. And of course, she got the job. It is so important and it's so easy. Like literally, once you start to adapt and just adapt to the confidence and just get used to being confident, it happens to you naturally if you just keep on trying. And just these stories, they illustrate the power of the power poses. They're not just about looking confident, they're about feeling confident in your mind. And so just give it a try next time if you feel nervous. And it's just confidence is not just about something that you have, it's about something you practice. So the more you practice confidence, the more that you will get it. You know, we're not born with confidence. You have to acquire that trait. You know how when you're born, you don't just know 2 + 2 = 4, or let me say 2 + 2 = 5, like Olivia Rodrigo song. But 2 + 2, you don't know that equals 4 when you're born because you have to learn that stuff. The same way you have to learn confidence. You're not just born with it. You have to learn it. The next section that I have is active listening, which is the heart of effective communication. So listening is just so important. Just giving your audience or your friend, whoever you're talking to, your full attention during conversations. This is so important because it makes people trust you and it makes them more open to hang out with you again because you listen to them. And it makes them feel heard and seen. And they'll most likely do the same thing for you if you do it to them. So also different active listening techniques can just be nodding your head and paraphrasing what the person is saying. I'm not saying copying and being weird, but I'm saying if they mention a detail about their life and you bring up that detail about an hour later, they're going to be like, oh my God, they remembered that. Or if you remember the shirt that your friend had on when you first met them, maybe a month later, you'd be like, oh, you wore that shirt when I first met you. That makes you feel happy, someone actually remembered this small detail about you. That feels so nice. So I really feel like you should go ahead and try to paraphrase and just remember things about your friends. It just makes them know that they're cared for, and they're really loved by you. And just make sure that they know that you're listening when you talk to them. Try to remember at least one thing, like I said, and just later on bring it back up, and that shows that you were paying attention. Also, reflective listening is very important. So reflective listening can just demonstrate empathy and understanding. And reflective listening can just be really easy too. So if you see someone, let me give you examples. So if you're talking to someone and they're talking to you in a low voice like this, if they're like, hey, Vivian, how's your day going? You're not going to come at them saying, my day is good. No, because you see that they're talking low. They must be talking low because they're shy. So you're automatically going to reflect what they're doing. If they're nervous, you're not going to come at them aggressively because that's going to make them nervous. Think about this for a second. If I said, I love Taylor Swift. I like Taylor Swift, okay? I love her. But if I said, I love Taylor Swift, that sounds like a monotone. But if I said, I love Taylor Swift, that sounds aggressive, You hear how you can hear the different just types of the way you can talk, and it just sounds aggressive sometimes. You need to reflect the way a person is talking, because if you talk to them in an aggressive way and they're talking to you in the shy, low voice that I did before, then they're not going to want to talk to you. And honestly, I wouldn't want to talk to you either, because why are you being so aggressive? Like, that's just weird, you know? And I hope you guys understand the point I'm trying to make, but you just don't want to come across really aggressive if someone is obviously nervous, if they have social anxiety and they speak really low. You don't want to be yelling at them, because that's just like, you don't want that. That's not proper communication etiquette. Also, you want to avoid distractions. So different distractions when you're talking to people can be just having your phone out. You don't want to have your phone out, because distractions can just show that you are not interested in what someone is saying. And you don't want to look like that. Even if you are interested in what they're saying, your distractions will prove otherwise. If your phone is ringing, are you going to look at it? Or are you going to finish talking to that person? It's rude. You could at least say, excuse me a second, and then check your phone and then go back to what they're saying. You need to be able to have proper etiquette and communication and just conversations in general, because it's just rude to go around just like saying, things like that and just like cutting people off. You don't want to do any of that. And you want to make sure that your feet are towards them and they're not towards like the door or anything like that, because that just shows that you don't want to be there. You just want to walk out. And make sure that you're looking at them in the eyes. I'm going to talk more about that in a few minutes, but make sure that you are doing that. And just put away your phone and put away your distractions while you are trying to talk to this person. It's just very important to be fully present in a conversation, because it shows that you care. Our next section that we have is section number 3, which is body language and nonverbal communication. So let's start off with the language of gestures. So there's many meanings behind common gestures, and they're very, very important. So here's what I want you to do. You can nod your head and show that you're understanding them without cutting them off. This is a nonverbal way. Excuse me for a second. This is a nonverbal way of agreeing with someone. You know how when someone says something and you want to be like, yeah, I understand. See, I had that same situation. No, you don't want to cut them off like that. You want to wait till they're finished, and then you can start talking. That's just rude. You don't want to cut people off. Of course, if it's like your sister or something like that, they know you enough to know that those aren't your intentions to cut people off. But if it's people that you're meeting for the very first time, they don't know anything about you. So you don't want to cut them off. You can just nod your head and just say quick things like, yeah, I understand, or things like that, just to show that you are listening, that you're understanding what they're saying. That's called nonverbal communication. Next is eye contact. So eye contact is so important. This is like very significant when you are doing nonverbal communication, because it just shows that you are paying attention to what they're saying. And it shows that you're not looking around the room like, what is that person doing back there? I wonder where that baby is. Like, I hear him crying. You don't want to be thinking about different things while you're talking to someone. You want to talk about and listen to what they are saying. You holding your eyes at them, of course, not in a creepy way, making them feel uncomfortable, but in like a nice, friendly way. You holding your eyes at them, it just shows that you are well interested in what they are saying, and you actually want to know what they're saying. You're not just listening to them because you feel forced to. You actually want to know what they're saying. It's very important to do that, because you want someone to do that to you. You want someone to understand what you're saying, listen to what you're saying, and you're not having to repeat what you're saying so many times because someone isn't paying attention to what you're saying. You don't want to feel like that, so don't make others feel like that. Next is mirroring and matching. So like I said earlier, mirroring and matching in communication is very important. And it's just a way you can make people feel more comfortable and more at ease. And of course, not in a creepy way, but just in a friendly way. Now we're going to get more into point number 4, which is the confidence in your voice, mastering tone and pitch. This is very much like I was talking about earlier when I gave you guys an example about coming off aggressive, and then like you're talking to someone who's shy and you're yelling at them. So just modulating your voice is very important. Just think about the impact of the way your tone sounds and just how they can convey different emotions. And also use your real voice. Don't use some fake Kardashian voice. Use your real voice. I want you to listen to this. If I said this, I love Lana Del Rey. That was low. I love Lana Del Rey. That was medium. If I said, I love Lana Del Rey, you guys, literally, I have Ultraviolence, I have Born to Die, I have everything. That sounds aggressive. Those convey different emotions. If the third emotion that I did when I was screaming, that sounds like, oh my gosh, she really does like Lana Del Rey. If I said it in the medium voice, they're like, oh, she probably likes her. But if I said it in the low voice, they're probably like, oh, they just like her, Maybe she doesn't have all the albums. Maybe she knows a couple popular songs, but probably not all of them. You don't want to have your tone come off in a rude way. You hear how when I yelled, I Love Lana Del Rey, it came off kind of like aggressive, and it came off kind of like, why is she yelling at me? That's exactly how it is. And you don't know. Maybe who you're talking to is a very sensitive person. They just don't let you know that, but they're sensitive. You could be like literally tearing that person apart, and you're just yelling at them that way, and you didn't have to do that. I'm not saying don't be a teenage girl and get super excited about things and just like, oh my God, yeah, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. No, you can do that, of course. I'm just saying that you don't want to come to somebody who's shy and who's talking very low, and you don't want to come yelling at them because it's going to scare them, you know? Like, say, for example, when you were little, you were like a toddler. What if, well, let me say a little kid, like elementary school, maybe like in the 2nd or 3rd grade. You don't want some teenager coming towards you when you're in the 2nd grade yelling at you, and maybe they're yelling like, oh my God, I remember being in the 4th grade. No, it's not a bad thing, but they're still yelling at you, and you're like in elementary school, you're like in 2nd grade. That's crazy. You don't want to come off aggressive towards someone who isn't even matching the energy. You know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. And I just feel like that's very important. Also, pauses are very important in a conversation. Just like the significance of pauses are very important because it shows that you're listening to what someone is saying, and then you're going to give your input on it. I'm not saying take a 30-second pause, but I'm saying take like a 2-second pause. Like when you are able to emphasize a point, it just allows the time for reflection. And see, that just gave you guys a little pause. It's like 2 seconds, but it was still a pause. It works. And so just experiment with different pauses in your conversation. It doesn't have to be long. Like I said, don't make it long. Just maybe like 2 seconds so you can think of what you're going to say. Because you don't want to say something like, you know, sometimes us girls that have like sarcastic humor, we automatically going to say something sarcastic. What if you're talking to someone who's sensitive? You don't want to come off mean towards them or sarcastic towards them. I'm not saying change yourself to talk to people. You guys know I'm not saying that. But I'm saying things that you could say to your siblings, you maybe not want to say that to people who aren't your siblings. Like, you don't want to say, like, you know how, like, to our siblings, we could say something mean and it's just like a joke. But, you know, if you say something like that to someone who's not your sibling, they don't even know you. They may think you're being serious. And so you need to think about what you're going to say before you say it. Next is public speaking confidence. A lot of people struggle with this. I struggle with it. It's hard, okay? So I'm going to give you tips for overcoming stage fright, like visualization, again, and deep breathing. So first, I'm going to tell you guys about stage fright. It's very common, so if you do have it, don't feel nervous or don't feel bad because you have a common thing. It's common. Everybody has it. Well, most people have it. Overcoming it involves understanding that it's natural to feel nervous. It's not something that only happens to one kid every generation. Everybody feels nervous at some point in their life. They may just not let you know that they feel nervous, but I'm pretty sure they feel nervous. Visualization is a powerful and really, really good technique when it comes to different things like this. So if you're going on stage, picture yourself on stage speaking confidently and engaging the audience. Also, deep breathing helps to calm your nerves. Just remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but in my episode that I did with Safia about how to create routines, or my little psychology rant that I had, I was talking about toning your vagus nerve. When you're nervous, that's your vagus nerve. It's making you feel nervous in your body right now. So if you feel nervous, then taking those deep breaths can really help to tone your vagus nerve, and just taking like a second to just take a deep breath. Just take a break for a second. Let your brain have a break. That is giving yourself a break to calm your nerves. You're not going to feel as nervous if you come back because you've already experienced it. You already take a deep breath. You've already just had a little break. You're okay now. When you take a deep breath, take them slow and take them to relax your body and mind, not to just fuel your nervousness. Practicing these techniques can just help you to be very significant and just not have as much stage fright when you are nervous. So confidence in public speaking, and it comes naturally most of the time, especially if it's your first time, but it can actually come from preparation and self-assurance. So knowing your material inside and out. If you're doing a presentation for school, not just depending on your note cards or your index cards to know what your information is saying, you actually knowing your material inside and out is more important, because the more familiar you are, the more confident you'll appear. The more that you're looking at your audience in the eyes instead of looking down at your index cards shows that you're more confident. It shows that you know who you are and you know what you're talking about. We don't have to question or Google whatever you're saying just to make sure that you're telling the truth. You know what you're talking about. Maintaining a good posture as well, standing tall and avoid fidgeting. You know, when you see somebody fidget, they just seem really nervous. You don't want to come off it that way. Making eye contact with your audience is very important as well, like I touched on earlier, and it just establishes a connection and it boosts your own confidence. Also, using gestures naturally, they emphasize points and just convey confidence. Let me share Sarah's story. I actually had her, I think she was in my 5th grade class, either her 4th or 5th. I'll say 5th. And she used to be terrified of public speaking, for real. But she didn't let that fear hold her back. She joined a public speaking club that we had, and she practiced all the time, especially on her friends. I used to always see her practice her giving presentations to her friends. Her friends would give her feedback. She'd come back with the feedback and do better. Just basic training, different things you do like that. And it gradually built her confidence. And today, she delivers really inspiring talks and just speeches. And just even when she talks to you in conversations, she doesn't sound nervous anymore. She just sounds like confident effortlessly. It's like she doesn't even have to try anymore because she's been practicing confidence for so very long. Also, the next thing that we have is number 5, navigating difficult conversations with grace. So, we're going to get into the most difficult thing, which is constructive criticism. Yes, I know it's so difficult to just take constructive criticism because you feel like you're putting in so much effort. You feel like you're giving all that you can, and someone still tells you, hey, you're not doing this right. It may not even be in the nicest tone. So when it comes to giving, and I'm going to tell you guys the framework for giving constructive feedback first. But when it comes to giving feedback, the feedback sandwich, it sounds funny, but it's actually really helpful. The feedback sandwich is a fantastic approach when it comes to this. So start with a positive comment and then discuss the areas that need improvement and end with another positive note. So for instance, if you're going to give feedback on a presentation, and don't give feedback if nobody asked for it. You guys, if somebody genuinely asks for your feedback, that's only when you give feedback. You don't give feedback just when someone didn't even ask you, because that just shows that you just, especially if you give negative feedback all the time to people who don't even ask you, that's just rude, But anyway, back to my example. So if you're giving feedback on a presentation with the feedback sandwich, you might say, I really appreciated your enthusiasm during the presentation. I noticed you could enhance the visuals for more impact, but your content was real research and engaging. Keep up the good work. This approach helps the person that you're talking to focus on growth while feeling supported. When you're just saying nice things about people all the time, it goes through their minds, especially anxiety girlies, goes through our minds that people are so nice to me all the time. I bet they're talking about me behind my back. I bet I actually sound so bad at this. When you can actually tell people the truth and be honest, but in a nice, respectful way using the feedback sandwich, it can make it a more positive impact on that person. It can make it just more nice in your conversation, and it won't ruin your friendship or anything like that. So just remember, the feedback sandwich is when you start with a positive comment, then discuss the areas that need improvement, and then end with another positive note. So like I said in the example, you can say, I really appreciate your enthusiasm during the presentation. I noticed you could enhance the visuals for more impact, but your content was very well researched and engaging. Super easy, super smart, and just going to get over with. Next is active listening skills when you receive criticism. So active listening is a key detail when you receive criticism. So maintaining eye contact, nod to show that you're understanding. Even if you don't, just nod to show that you're understanding. Paraphrase what you've heard from that person to confirm your understanding. So for example, you could say, so what you're suggesting is that I should work on my time management skills to improve my productivity. That person just said that. You're just going to repeat what they said to make sure that person understands what you're saying. Also, even if you don't agree with it, you don't have to tell them that you don't agree with it. Just move on, you guys. You don't have to tell everybody every little detail that you're feeling right now. Like if someone gives you bad criticism and you're just like, oh my gosh, how could they even tell me that? That's so rude. Why would they say that to me? That's so mean. Stop talking about me in that way. Okay, you don't have to tell them all of that. That's just going to feed in their energy. The reason why they're telling you these things is because they're upset with their life, and every time they see you do a presentation, it makes them more mad because they see you every single day. And it's just a little reminder to themselves of how mean they are and just how much they wish they could change. So when you are telling that person constantly, you don't have to say that or anything like that. It's giving them what they want. Think about it. They tell you these rude things on purpose. So you don't have to tell people all these different things like that, like I was just saying. You can just do what I said, nod, paraphrase to show that you're understanding, and move on with your life. Now, different examples of constructive criticism that can lead to personal growth are the way that it can be transformative power. So consider Sarah, who I was talking about earlier. She received feedback a lot about her lack of teamwork skills at school because, some people when you do something like in a, what is it called, a group project, it just does not go right. So instead of taking offense to what they said, she actively worked on her communication and collaboration skills, and soon her teamwork improved and she was promoted in her club. It's very easy, you guys. Just take to what people say if it's a good thing, and if you know they have good intentions on helping you. Don't take advice from someone that you wouldn't ask for advice. If your mom tells you to work on something, she has no reason, most of the time, no reason to come at you and just want you to be mad and miserable. If it's someone who's always mean to you, then that's when I told you earlier to not take to heart what people are saying. Just move on with your life. But if it's someone that genuinely cares enough about you to help you to be better and a better person in life, then definitely pay attention to what they're saying and take their criticism back in a good way. Also, we're going to talk about assertiveness versus aggressiveness. So assertiveness means expressing your needs, your opinions, and just your feelings openly and honestly while respecting others. It's about standing up for yourself while considering the feelings and perspectives of other people. So assertive communication builds mutual respect and trust, and it just helps to build healthy relationships both personally and professionally. Now, I'm going to share with you guys some techniques for assertive communications. So assertive phrase empower your communication. Instead of saying you're wrong, try, I see it differently, and here's why. Then you're going to tell them why you see it differently. Techniques like I statements, parentheses, what you would say is like, I feel, I need. Express your emotions without blaming others. Don't say, I felt this way because last week you told me that I was ugly. You don't have to blame other people for so many things in your life just to make sure that you're healing your quote-unquote trauma. I'm not excusing trauma, but I'm saying like you're making a quick healing for trauma by blaming it on other people. But have you actually looked at yourself? What are you doing to make that always happen? It's just sometimes you have to look at yourself and see, am I doing something wrong? Am I the problem? It's me. You have to think about that. Also, body language is crucial too, so maintain a good posture, make eye contact, and just use a calm tone. Even if you are upset, you don't have to come off upset. Using a calm tone just shows that you've grown up, you're mature now. You don't take things offensively like you did when you were 3 years old when someone said your shoes didn't match, Also, let me tell you guys about assertiveness and aggression through examples. So, assertiveness respects boundaries, whereas aggression violates them. Let me say that again. Assertiveness respects boundaries, whereas aggression violates them. So, for example, imagine two coworkers discussing a project. An assertive statement may be, I need more time to complete my part. In contrast, an aggressive one could be, you never give me enough time, you're always pressuring me. Assertiveness focuses on the issue, whereas aggression attacks the person, leading to hostility and strained relationships. The same thing as when you have a friendship. If you're in a romantic relationship, you don't want to be attacking each other. You want to attack the problem. What's the problem? Let's face it together. Let's not face each other and just be like a versus thing. It's going to be attacking the problem. That's the same way with assertive and aggressiveness. Now, we're going to talk about conflict resolution. So these are different steps to resolve conflicts peacefully, such as active listening and finding common ground. So, active listening is the cornerstone of peaceful conflict resolution. So, giving the other person your full attention and asking open-ended questions to understand their perspective. Think about it. If you object their perspective right when you hear it, it may be because you don't know their full perspective. You don't know why they think that way. But when you ask them open-ended questions to understand their perspective, at least you tried to understand. Even if you don't finish and you don't, at the end, don't understand, you still had the opportunity and you still at least gave them a chance. Finding common ground, shared interests, or goals can create a foundation for resolving conflicts just by acknowledging shared objectives, and they can, the both people in this situation can just become more willing to compromise. Also, it's really important to compromise and find win-win solutions. So compromising is a vital thing in conflicts, and it just helps both parties to just feel better and just go for the greater good of the relationship. So a win-win solution ensures that both people can gain something from the resolution. For example, what I mean is in a workplace disagreement, let's say you're at a job, you're at school, it doesn't matter, but you're in a disagreement. Compromise might involve adjusting deadlines to accommodate to everyone's schedules. It may not accommodate to your schedule, but at least you can get it done at a later time. What if your math assignment was due tomorrow, but this kid was like, I already actually can't do it. I have something to do tomorrow and I can't turn it in. What if you actually already spent all of your time doing it? Now you're upset because you had a whole extra week that the teacher just gave everyone to complete it. Well, at least you're done with it. Now you have time to work on other assignments rather than working and just worrying about that one assignment that's already done now, Now you have time to work on other assignments in that same class without having all these different things piling up on you. Also, just personal experiences with conflict resolution is just very important to compromise. It may not be what you want to do in the long run, but it's just very important just to think about that, because it's like you would want someone to do that for you. So just give it a try for someone, especially if you care about them. Our last point, which is point number 6, is confidence in digital communication. So this is with emails and social media, text messages. We cover it all in technology. So professional email etiquette. So when you're talking to people through email, make sure that you're going to be including a clear subject line. This is when you are talking to someone professionally. I'm not saying talking to your best friend, and it doesn't even matter really, but I'm saying we're talking to someone professionally. If you're talking to someone who may be giving you a job or something like that, make sure that you have clear subject lines and just conscious messaging. And when you are texting or messaging, do so in a kind yet professional way, depending on who you're talking to. Like I was saying, with your best friend, you can put all these acronyms and different stuff like that. But when you're talking to someone professional, you want to make sure you spell out your words. Also, addressing and signing off emails professionally is amazing. You don't want to if you're talking to your boss or your teacher, you don't want to say hugs and kisses, Vivian. No, because that's giving off informal approach to it. If you're going to be talking to your friends, then say that all you want, If you're talking to your teachers, just say sincerely your name, or thank you, your name. Make sure that you're just being professional with it rather than being kind of informal about it. You have to know the difference between writing formally and informally. Also with social media, so it's really important to build a positive online presence through your authenticity and your kindness. You don't want to go around in comment sections yelling at people, disliking people's YouTube videos. That's just rude, You don't do that. You were raised better than that. You want to be positive. You want to build a positive online presence. Also, people who have strong positive online presence are people think about it. You never see Taylor Swift coming at people in the comment section. She's never oh, well, you don't know what it's like to write 3 albums in 3 hours and you just suck. No, you never see her saying things like that, because she's confident in herself enough to not think about what these rude people are saying. Remember that, okay? Remember that about models. They don't come at people for saying different things like that in the comment sections. You never see some models coming to people who have different edits that are mean edits of people. No, because they don't care like that, You need to make sure you remember that. Just sharing positive content, just engaging in meaningful conversations online could just be so much more better than just teaming up against someone's YouTube video or just being rude to people for no reason. Especially, even if you have a reason, being rude to people is just no excuse. God, He is loving to people, and He has every right in this world to be rude to people. Because think about the way people defy the world with cursing, tattoos. I'm not even saying I'm telling you, really crazy stuff, stealing, killing people, murdering. God has every right to be rude to people, but He doesn't, because He loves people. Even if they are the meanest people, even if they go murdering people and they change their life around to love God, He forgives them for what they have done, because He loves us enough to do so. You need to be able to do the same. When it comes to people who may have been rude to you in the past, but they're actually coming for forgiveness, you need to be able to forgive that person, because God forgave you all of your issues. Don't think He forgot about all that stuff in the past. He forgave you, so you need to forgive other people. Also, online criticism can be a very big thing today. Obviously, people leaving negative comments, and just knowing that you don't have to respond to these negative comments can just be very freeing. You can just either delete them if you don't want to see them, or on your YouTube, your Pinterest, social media, anything. You can delete the negative comments, disable your comments, or you just can not look at the comments. Also, responding publicly when you get public criticism is when you can take this little spat that you're having with someone and do it in private. You don't want to be in the grocery store yelling at someone because they are just being rude to you. You don't do that. That's just like making a scene, Like, I'm not saying hide yourself or anything like that, but I'm saying, like, you don't want to go around yelling to people because it would catch your attention. You're like, why are they yelling at each other? It must be mean people. Now people who don't even know you are thinking that you're rude when you could have avoided all of that. Because once people see something about you, it's very hard for them to unsee that. Especially if you really want to be friends with them, it's hard for them to unsee that because they've already seen your actions. So there you have it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. You're now armed and you know everything about how to communicate confidently in any type of situation. Remember, confidence is not just about being and feeling perfect. It's about embracing your unique voice and just expressing yourself for who you are. So go out there, speak your truth, and just let your confident light up every single room. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please leave a rating and review over Apple and Spotify. I really hope this episode can help all my social anxiety girlies, anybody who may be struggling with communicating confidently and just mastering the art of communication. I really hope it can help you. So until next time, keep shining, keep communicating, and keep being the fabulous communicators I know that you can be and you already are. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!